All right, folks, great to see you here tonight on the Patriot Soapbox News Network. It's the i70 Coach Clay Show coming right up, and we've got a special guest tonight I'm very excited about, and so we shall be right back after. i70 Coach Clay Show, March 23rd, 2020. And man, this month is flying by really fast, if you ask me. But yeah, live chat, great to see you out there. Hope everybody's had a great day and a great weekend. And yeah, so guys, I'm excited tonight. We've got a special guest tonight for a short period of time. It's an honor. You just need to unmute yourself down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Should be able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Too. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, great to have you on the show. It's I've been following your stuff now for quite a while, and it's exciting to have you here finally.
Well, it's exciting to be here. I've not been asked for many interviews, so
very cool.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and play it real quick?
Yeah, let's show Raw Q Boswin.
I'll play it from here.
Latest? Did you have his latest one or?
With iDrop Media, that's the guy making all the awesome videos. So
yeah, so for folks that don't know him out here, I'll just give him a little bit of a rundown. Raw Q Boswin has been working with iDrop Media and putting together fantastic stuff here over the last while. And I've been following both of their work. I guess you guys do a combination of some of the video work and audio work, that type of thing.
Yeah, we just kind of got together in a Q room, of course, as we're all sort of on Twitter, and we got chatting about certain things and decided to start doing some work together. And then here we are. I guess we're gonna.
Should we do the first one?
All right, let's do it in succession because I know his latest work that they just put out here in the last week or so is fantastic as well. But for folks that aren't familiar maybe with your work, let's show them the folks out there a quick video.
Thanks, guys.
Will do.
Can you hear the veil of a deep state prick who started with the CIA as a dude with an ancient dick. The mate was a mighty predator, the skipper knew the cure. 5 pedophiles set sail that day for a free island tour, a free Epstein Island tour. The weather started getting rough, the pedo ship was tossed. Caught by the courage of the POTUS HQ, Team Epstein would be lost. Jeffrey Epstein paid the cost. The ship set ground on the shore with these satanic pedophiles, with Bill Gates and Prince Andrew. Some billionaires and their wives, the movie stars, and the rest lost here on Epstein's Island.
That's great.
Oh man, that's some classic work from both you guys. Okay, yeah. So if you want to drop the share for a second there, 70.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know if folks out there had seen that, but I mean, that is one of the best darn videos I have seen put together in all of this, you know, the video memes and et cetera that people have made on the movement. That's got to be one of the best ones. What made you guys come up with that idea?
I don't know. It's just I was talking with I, and we just were deciding what to do. And if you roll through the lyrics of the song as is, it's
right.
It occurred to us that it was almost like they were gaslighting us with the whole idea of being on an island like with billionaires and movie stars. I mean, so right. Yeah, it was just as soon as the idea came, it was like, well, it's already there. We just have to enable it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. And are you do you have the kind of audio or kind of you do that professionally in the past, or is that just your passion?
Yeah, I have 4 CDs out, and then I got into I got asked to give sorry, something happened here just distracted me, but I
brought some my bad. I brought 2 callers in. We're a round table. I brought our callers in.
Okay, great. Yeah. No, I had an opportunity to do a soundtrack for a local guy that was doing a take on Star Trek.
Okay.
And he wanted all classical music. So I ended up having to buy some stuff to create that kind of music. And then I really started to enjoy it. And
right.
The movie crashed and burned. And so I was left with all this music. And then the storm hit. And I was like, well, no one's going to listen to this unless I do something with it. And I made my first video in support of the storm, which was the breakthrough. And that got some great response. So I kept doing it, but then I got censored like crazy. So here we are.
Did you? When did that kind of start for you in terms of the censorship?
Started on breakthrough. The first, it kind of took off and had like 1,000 views, and then just got cut off. Then every video I did after that would have a great first day, hundreds of views or whatever, and then bang. So now I put them out. They don't do anything.
Right.
That Epstein one happened to go, somehow it got through, and we've done pretty well with that one. But
I know even the second Epstein 2 that you put out, I guess it was a week or so ago. I've been kind of following it as it kind of picks up, and I'm surprised at how little amount of people have seen it the other day. And I'm like, what?
Let me tell you guys about censorship in Canada. Like I think that because of Trudeau and whatever, he can encourage Twitter instead of like discourage. He's like, lock them down. So if you look at, like, I put hashtags in the titles of the videos on YouTube. So when they get retweeted, they lock into Twitter or they're on hashtags already. Right. So the new one, we got that hashtag. We got Guantanamo State. It's ours, right? We were the first ones to use it. That's why we launched it and then unlaunched it and launched it again with that new title because we had the hashtag.
Right.
But now when you treat it from YouTube, they won't show the preview on Twitter. The whole page of our hashtag Guantanamo State has people retweeting it, but it has no preview, so you can't tell it's a video. So they have all their different ways of making sure people don't watch it. So that's why we really appreciate you guys picking it up like this. This will help.
Yeah, no, awesome. I thrown that link out there for that last tweet that you guys did for the second edition there.
Yeah, they got it locked down hard. That's okay. You know what? It's there. And we'll just move on, make some better stuff.
Well, so we pulled them into callers here. I believe it's Captain Liberty and Gord Eckstein is in the room right now.
Gord Epstein.
Yeah, and welcome, guys, to the show. Captain Liberty, Gord Eckstein. You guys have any questions here for Raw?
Thank you. Go ahead. I just saw your Epstein Island thing, and that was absolutely hilarious. Well done.
Thank you very much. We had a lot of fun making it.
You have more in the pipe, I take it?
Yeah, we're working on one right now that's probably going to be quite surprising and fun. We're getting, the problem with parody, I think I was told a long time ago as a songwriter, it's an easy place to get to. It's a hard place to get out of. So I don't know how much more parody I want to be doing, because it's it's fun. It's great. But yeah, we've been given lots of suggestions.
And in a few minutes here, if you'll honor us, we'll play your second addition to that first video, which I think you guys went above and beyond what you did in the first works, especially the last part there with the credits. People, you have to watch, read the credits, and listen to the audio. I mean, it's top notch, man. It's top notch.
Well, I appreciate that. We like I said, we're having a lot of fun doing this, so it's really nice to hear that people are responding to it. Honestly,
Do you mind my asking a techie question?
absolutely.
What video editing software are you using?
That is
Trade secret, if that's okay.
no,
if it is.
no. It's not me. It's not me doing the film editing. I use, just like everybody else, iMovies to make my little contributions. But that is Adobe. That's an Adobe package. So
Okay.
he's invested in it, and it shows. You're right; those are rockin' films he makes.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to find a free version that I can of an upgraded program that I'm using, because I'm starting to feel limited in what I'm doing, and the works that some people like yourself are putting out there are just they motivate me to become better and try to do more awesome stuff like you guys are doing.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's the whole point of this thing, right? It's an awakening. So let's ride on each other's energy and, do this thing.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Do you have anything in the pipe concerning Nancy Pelosi and the background music to High Chaparral?
Well, I think it just got put there. Cheers.
That's funny.
That is funny. All right, I'm going to
Do
go
you
ahead
ever
and,
do any short video? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, 70.
go ahead with
Right
your
on,
question, then I'll play the next
Oh.
one.
I was just going to ask if you ever did any short video memes, like the 5 or 10 second video memes. Do you ever do any short ones like that just for fun?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, actually, I've got a couple of those. I did one called Step 5, which was just a little 17-second video, it turned out to be, funnily enough, just about the fact that they had no Step 5, which is pretty awesome that they don't have a Step 5. But I don't know how good my video was. I prefer to, my thing is my music. So like me making videos is sort of like a carpenter making doing all your plumbing, but that's what we have to do, right? In this, and then like I said, I meet a guy and he's the master at the video. He's also great at the creative and choosing music, all this. It's good. This is the Great Awakening. This is what we're doing. We're going to create the new Hollywood, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
No doubt. No, you're right. Do you have a link or where people can find your regular music as well?
Yeah, I have a site that's constantly attacked by whatever, but it's rawboswin.com. So
Okay.
and there's music there. It seems to load slow. I don't spend a lot of time on it because nobody goes there, which may change in the future here. But right now nobody goes there. But it's got a ton of content on it. It's got almost all my music for free. You can buy it if you want, but nobody seems to want to do that. But it's all there, and there's something wrong with the way the page loads. So if you go to the home page and wait for it, it will load up all the songs eventually, and you just sit there and listen if you enjoy them.
Hey,
Awesome.
I think there's a lack of good music out there, and a lot of patriots, I think, have come out of their kind of the closet per se over this last couple of years to show more of the great stuff that they produce. And
there's gatekeepers in the music business, guys. There's gatekeepers. They don't want certain people in there. You can't get in. I mean, there's gatekeepers. They're like pedal wood with notes.
I think if you find the right niche maybe use the Trump angle to open up the door, get you some exposure. I think any exposure can't be too bad.
Exactly. And exactly, it's how I got in the door, I think, with you guys, the Trump aspect of it. The fact that it's the new, thing that we all chime with, right? Like this, it's not just Trump. It's the whole idea of truth and, righteousness. I think that's what's appealing to people.
Right? All right. And now for part 2 of Epstein's Island. Guantanamo Stay.
This is a tale the rats and snakes have feared for a long, long time. There's 747 sits, then it makes an uphill climb. It looks like it no time. The first mate and a skipper too will be put to their deaths. We'll make the others comfortable with an epic mass arrest. Electric chairs for every guest. Ouch. No phones, no bribes, no more cigars, not a single hung jury. Trump promised us he'd do so. Now Hillary's in Camp D on Guantanamo Bay TV. So join us here, it's big, my friend, you're sure to get a smile. So many slimy rats and snakes here on Castro's Isle.
Castro's Isle? Okay, you idiots, get in here. Who switched up the lyrics?
Well, Nancy Pelosi kind of ripped them up. Wilson! Secretary Clinton, what difference at this point does it make? That's funny. Hey, spirit cooker. Marina, get me a cerveza, man. Yeah, make mine coronavirus with a squeeze and Lyme's disease. Hola, Comey. Is that a snake in your plane? Or are you just happy to see me? Look, he's James Clapper. It's pretty tough to clap with those chains on. Hey, James, that's Brennan, man. Oh, that was Clapper. A mouse. It's okay. That snake's got it. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Hey, Betty Sartoro, I heard you got the standard cell, just like Chifty Chiff. Look, it's Justin Trudeau. Nah, that's a guy. Orange is the new blackface.
Actually, I heard they were all hung well.
Wait, what?
Oh, man.
That is awesome.
That is funny every time I see it, man.
Thanks, guys. That was fun to make. We were giggling at it, too. It's tough to release comedy, I tell you. It's a little bit different than just trying to release a nice sounding track.
The audio editing at the end there on those credits is just classic, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm glad you guys got to see it and got to show it for us.
Oh, yeah, man.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
Make sure you go to that YouTube page and hit a thumbs up and share it around, folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like I said, it's the censorship. I was excited the other day when we could search with Google and get truth. I was ecstatic, but it did not translate to Twitter and it didn't translate to YouTube, it seems. But I also don't know, like, if we're not being censored by white hats at this point.
In what kind of respect?
Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they want the message to roll out at certain times, so they're gonna they say, "Well, we don't want Epstein Island out front yet." I don't know. I don't know, right?
Right. No, I see what you mean. No, it makes sense. I mean, definitely with the amount of information, what type of information. We were saying it the other night when we were going over some of the Q deltas, where all the pictures of Ray Chandler started coming up again. Yeah. It was like, there's a name that we all know, we've seen it, we've heard about a year ago, whatever, but where is she? What has happened with any of that? Obviously, it's not that time in the plan for them to bring up the information on her, or like you say.
And this specific information that we're pointing to, and maybe the faces and people, they're going, okay, yeah, great, thanks, guys, but we got to hold that back. And I also have a Flynn video that I'm not sure, General Flynn, sorry, that I'm not sure, if it's right or not, but I know it's really hard to get eyes on it because, maybe it's not time for that. Like I know, I'm thinking QAnons, we're so on top of it that we want to oh, coronavirus, look what I found. Like, look, this must be fake. And I'm finding myself governing those kinds of tweets because I'm like, I'll blow their plan. If I'm right, I'll expose what they're doing. So do I really want to be out in front of this thing? Do I want to be aware of what's happening and watch? I think we should just watch for a while, right? Instead of trying to inform everybody. It's a trick. That's right. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it makes sense for sure.
Yep.
And for folks out there that don't know, Raw Q Boswin is a fellow Canadian like myself. In fact, he's in the same city as me, which is an amazing thing, small world. But I just want people to know that out there, if you haven't already, there is a lot of patriot Canadians like this fella here who I'm sure are very proud of what President Trump is doing down there. Wanted to ask you a question in terms of all this. In my kind of 40,000 foot view, sometimes it seems like to me, and what do you think on this? If the Queen and the monarchy gave up power to President Trump over a year ago on his first visit, per se, the last time he came, he was walking in alongside the military. Prince Charles was behind him, per they type of thing.
Yep.
And so if that's the case, then is Canada not under the power of President Trump now as well, being that we're supposedly...
Well, I can only pray that we are. I have posted many times, and it just rattles me. If you've ever watched the swearing-in ceremony of the Canadian Prime Minister, it's absolutely sickening because he swears literally in plain English. It's unmistakable. He swears a secrecy oath to the Queen over and above the Canada's Canadian citizens. It's ridiculous. And then everybody claps after he's done. And I'm like scratching my head going, does your average Canadian know that he's sworn to secrecy through the Privy Council with the Queen? You know, the mother of the pedophiles. Right? Now she's on all our money. I think we're going to have to correct that situation.
Exactly.
So, this is going to be monumental for Canadians. And you try and tell the fellow sheeple up here about what's happening and how it's tied to how it's going to be incredibly destructive to the Canada that we know when the crown is taken out of the picture. Not destructive it's actually going to be great, but how Canada itself is going to be decimated.
I think it would be initially psychologically damaging because we've had that tradition, and that's the thing, is that we've always treated it like a tradition. It's not like we've ever really looked at what's been going on, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And that's the problem here.
Have you noticed?
While I have you three Canadian musketeers here, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yeah, hey.
Okay. What at least I, as an American, I spent about 2 hours looking at Canadian sites, both pro and con today, including, the Canadian Network TV site. And what I'm seeing, Mr. Pedophile Peenie Socks doing is he's talking about doing all of the economic things that Donald Trump has already laid out for the U.S. He's still sniping at him every opportunity he gets. But do you actually think that he's going to do anything to help the average Canadian, or is he going to throw all of the money at the immigrants again? Because, guys, from what I read today, we think we've had it bad here. He has really screwed you guys bad.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
That leads into my question, Raw Q. What has the economy kind of tanked up there? Do you notice that it's getting rougher and rougher?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that saves me is I'm a musician, so I'm used to being broke.
Yeah. Me too, brother.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's terrible here. Like, it's terrible. And Justina Trudeau has been doing it intentionally since he's been in office. He's a Soros puppet. So Soros divides and conquers. So he's got the West in a Wexit movement, which is exactly what he wants. He's got us all. He's got people like me and Coach and everybody up here that's trying to whistle and get people awake. Completely, unbelievably censored. I gotta say this: if there's people in the States listening, do not let it get this bad. Don't let it get this bad. People can't be woken up. They just can't. They're so immersed in a different narrative.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of my questions to you is about that, in that we don't see here yet in Canada what we have seen around the world in terms of especially France, Hong Kong, but these other places, Chile, Hungary, et cetera, of massive amounts of people who are proud about their country, standing up for globalism. We have not seen that here really at all. The yellow vest movement really never caught on. The trucker drive out to Parliament didn't really catch on at all. And I attuned it here on the show that it kind of seems like not only are the people brainwashed here in that kind of MK Ultra type of brainwashing, but it's almost like they have that Stockholm syndrome effect.
Oh my goodness.
They sympathize with their oppressors, being Justin Trudeau and the Liberals and every other government that's been in power since them, conservative or liberal.
Yeah, but I mean,
absolutely, Coach.
Yeah, and it's because of what we have here is we have the same type of media propaganda control in Canada as they do in China. Only we're not aware of it. Most people are not aware that it's that bad. So when it's that bad, like when I tell somebody to go watch my video, I lose a friend. Like I can lose a friend because they go, "What are you talking about?" I'll say, "I am censored. We need to stop it. You can't believe I'm censored. We're in Canada. I'm censored." They're like, well, what are you talking about? They're not like, "That's horrible. We got to make that stop." They're like, "Well, what's your topic? Trump? Oh, well, what do you expect? Like, he's a dick. He's a dick. What are you talking about? Like, how do you get this? How do you get this through to people when they're that immersed in this narrative?" Like you turn on We've
been the people in the armchair with the beer watching the TV for so long that we don't even want to get up to fix the TV now that it's screwing up. You know what I'm saying? It's like a metaphor, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as hockey night in Canada is on Saturday night and there's a dozen beer in the fridge, we're good to go.
A dozen? That's not nearly enough. How many people are there?
One.
Okay, yeah. Still, I rest my case. I rest my cases.
Yeah, no, and some people are surprised out there about how left we actually are up here, if you want to use that term. And no, they've done it very slowly, and they've done it with both parties, the Conservatives and the Liberals. So even the people who aren't liberal, as you say, are really conservative, they have been brainwashed over the years just as much as any of these really weirdo liberals that are out there at this point.
Well, I'll ask you a favor. If you move so far left that you slide off into the Pacific, just don't scrape Alaska off along with you.
I'd swim up to Alaska. I tell you, honestly, you guys, I've never, and I mean this with respect, I've never wanted to move to the United States in my life. I've loved Canada. I brought up as a Canadian, brought up to believe it's the best country in the world. When you travel, people are like, "Hey, man, you're from Canada. You rock." And you're like, "Yeah, I do rock. You know, I'm from Canada." So we believe this. And so we didn't watch the government. We didn't watch anything. We're just like, yeah, our government rocks. And we're like the best socialist sort of like blend of capitalism. And like, we believe this. But meanwhile, the leftists are down in Ottawa just screwing us over and taking us past the point of no return. So we need Trump now. We need Donald Trump to help us, and hopefully you're right, and he is our new queen.
Yeah, it really seems to even.
We need Maxime Bernier.
Yeah, maybe, but I know that he has some strings that I would like to share with people that need to be reviewed. He has some donors that are tied to the Clinton Foundation that I'd like to ask him about.
Yeah, I think there are some questions out there about him, and obviously, anyone who's trying to be our leader, continued leader, I think needs to be vetted in some ways that per se he really hasn't. There wasn't a leadership contest, etc., for that party.
Hey, he was a conservative before he started. He was one of them, right? So
but he quit the party because he figured it was too corrupt. After there was a bunch of problems, and he saw the corruption going on in it, and said, "I can't be a part of that."
I hope you're right. Like he would have my vote in a heartbeat if I thought he could win or anything. But you know what? This whole thing it's like, hey guys, sorry, that's my wife. No,
another thing about Maxime, I've been, I was very proud of him and what he's done so far, but in the way that this type of political realm that we're in right now, I think you need to come with a way different offense than he did there. And he really didn't do well, I think, in the debates where he was being attacked as a racist, and he's got a guy right there who wore blackface, but he never called him on it, and things like that. Whether we're in a time right now of celebrity politicians or not, we are really lacking that type of President Trump type of leader. And I'm not really thinking just as a politician, but as a businessman. That's really what President Trump has done such a good job of down there, is turning the economy around, getting jobs for people, creating more small business, supporting all the industries that he needs to. It's a pretty simple equation, really, right?
I have a question. Do you think Bernier is just timid, or do you think he's controlled opposition?
Don't get me going. My firm belief is he's controlled. Like Soros owns Canada, you guys. So when he grabs first of all, Bernier effectively split the vote, or I don't know if he split a vote or not, because I don't know if he got enough to actually do that.
In those, people do say that, but all in all, when you look at the numbers in those 7 ridings where people say he affected the swing on it, the actual difference in there of people that had voted for the Liberal wouldn't have mattered if Bernier's votes were in there. I think it was really censored, for sure. He was censored a lot, and there was voter fraud going on.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Because he was speaking the only logic of any of the politicians, and for only to be 350,000 Canadians roughly that voted for that party, the party that's against the Paris Accord, against the UN Migration Pact, against mass immigration, against the UN, wipe out all the UN. I mean, these are the things that we need to do. And you're telling me there's only 1.6% of Canadians that are awake?
But it's not a measurement of wakeness. Like me and my wife, I shouldn't say this because I think I'm being recorded, but we both at the last minute said, screw it, we're voting for Max. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we knew it was we're throwaway. We knew it was. But we also thought that any other vote was a throwaway because we didn't want that.
Yeah,
we didn't want it.
Yeah.
And
32 million people with buckets over their heads.
No, it's not buckets. No, I mean, I think it's like, what if you had a choice between Bernie and Hillary? What do you do?
Here's another American question. But now, did Trudeau utilize a Canadian version of voter fraud, or did he borrow the DNC's voter fraud manual?
I really don't know. I don't know, Coach.
I think that they taught the Dems.
It always goes back to the vote counters, the people who are getting the votes in Elections Canada and who are counting them. That's where we get the result from. Who are those people? No one knows. So,
I can tell you something. I worked for one election. And I can tell you that lots of young people were there being used to count the votes and take in all the votes. They were doing their job, but I think that a lot of those young people have got left-wingitis in the brain, and they're willing to do whatever they want to do to make sure that they get their outcome. Mm-hmm. And the reason why people like Canada from around the world is they know they can get free money from us.
Unless you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I think you're on point there, Gord. But as Rocky Bob,
I was amazed, Coach. I was amazed when Justin came out of the hidey hole there at his place where he was, and pronounced that all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, we have $82 billion to start using to fight coronavirus, the Chinese virus. Now, from out of nowhere, $82 billion. And there's not one penny for national defense, not one penny for road upgrades, for making a nationwide high-speed rail system. Any of that stuff. None of that is ever brought up. But to be able to placate his voters, this is what his dad did back in the early 80s. When he went and borrowed 4 generations worth of money from the World Bank and walked around the third world throwing 20s at people, handfuls of 20s at people and saying, come on to Canada. And what he was doing was he was buying constituencies. He was buying votes.
Well, they're still doing it.
Doing it differently.
Of course.
Bringing in that voting block.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's their concept.
If the country ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and we keep having to dig it out of the ground and shaw the water and chop the wood.
I think our national debt is somewhere below $1 trillion, 800 billion or something like that. Trudeau himself has going to add to that by over 100 billion in his time. So.
But that's the globalist plan, right? Like they have been slowly eroding our ability to support ourselves. They go from handing the control of the country from the oilmen back to the bankers back to the oilmen, and we watch it go back. And we think we've actually switched something from liberal to conservative, but we're just switching like where they're going to pour all the funds into and load up their buddies' pockets. And then we get mad at, say that's, oh man, you're funneling the money back to the banks and getting us in debt and making sure the banks are going to be fine. But what's lovely now is because if we all believe the same thing, there's a global reset happening, and all that money and all that energy that these lizard buggers have been taken off us will be given back to us. And we will have a couple months of holidays before we have to get back to work. That's what I see it.
I think you're on the right path there as well. That's what I'm starting to feel about it. And who knows, the borrowing and the writing of or pre-printing of so much money right now might be in some way to bankrupt the central banks right now as the system gets flipped.
The Fed Reserve is going to cost them money to bail everybody out this time. It's going to cost them when they hand out their negative interest money that Trump's going to force them to do. They will be paying back the debt. They'll be starting to pay back the debt that they created.
Yeah, and I said on the show of ours sometime last year that for the American folks down there to take a look at your newest printed out $100 bills, because from my research, at least from what I see there, the $100 bill already has a split between it, a divider between the one side that says Federal Reserve note and the other side that says United States of America. And there's a little gold seal put on it. And below it is another gold indicator that basically this note that might already be pushing out into circulation, that you will be able to basically trade in these fiat currencies with the half note of gold for your new currency when it comes out. I don't know.
Coach, they come on a roll now with perforations in between.
Yeah. Imagine. Folks up there down there might be able to confirm with me on that point, if because I have seen that. Jenny Whaley out there live chat says you're correct. I don't know if any other folks have noticed that either on the $100 bill. I don't think it's happened yet on any of the other bills down there, but that one may be because it's a larger denomination. It ends up being worth more gold, all in all than, a fiver.
I think on the new Canadian $100 bill, there's a piece of loon poop.
Yeah.
I mean, Hey, right now, as I was saying,
it's also it's plastic and see-through, so you can see through the poop. And he's got a little picture true to his head inside the poop.
Been there, done that.
So when you plant your garden, what do? Put one down under each seed so that you have something to fertilize it with?
Yeah.
No, it'll kill the plant. It's too much fertilizer.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much of your time there, Raw Q Boswin, if you're a busy man there. Do you have another 5-10 minutes with us?
I could spend as much, like I got nothing on my calendar.
Okay, cool. Right on then, and hang on. Well, by all means, would you be an honor for us to be able to play one more of your guys' videos?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
folks might not have seen this one. This was great when it first came out as well. This one was titled the 2020 First Annual Swampies Award.
Oh, the Swampies, yeah.
Yeah, this one's great. Again, what a great piece of work, guys. Really, honestly.
Oh, excellent!
Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Is that okay to rebroadcast on our on the channel here?
Honestly, guys, anything on my channel, you just help yourself.
There's a lot of folks out there, some other show mods per se, that would love to be able to try to share that out for you a bit on their shows and get it moving a bit more if we can.
Absolutely. If you can try and take lately, another thing that Twitter's been doing, I believe, I think they caught on to that. I'm an audio guy. I like to create audio. And now when I upload the videos to the Twitter, it seems that they're crushing and desyncing them. Like they seem a little out of time and the audio is over compressed or something weird's happening to it. So if you could play from the YouTube, generally they have a better sound quality.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make a note of that when I put a post out there.
It's their censorship. They're crafty little, whatever.
It's these little tiny small things that they're doing. I mean, even for myself, i70 and I have 500 or so followers on or subscribers on our YouTube channel, and people in the live chat, they'll say 4 or 5 people say, we just subscribed, and I'll go look, and there was only 2.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll get more subscriptions, which I don't get a lot, than views, right? sometimes I will get a bunch of views and then I'll go look at it. And it seems like if they see my IP address, go look at it, they tax me and take views off. And these are videos where I'm scraping. Like I put out if you guys want to play a video that should be played, I have one that I created for Planned Parenthood. You want to see censorship, try and do a video about Planned Parenthood.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the vampires do not want that to be exposed. Yeah,
that's definitely a subject that people here on different shows on the channel here have tackled before or whatever. And
that's a great way to get people not to be able to see your show. Right, because they will just lock it down. I mean, my God, people don't even know. People don't know. If they knew, they would freak out.
Ooh, that'd be a good new category for your awards. The Margaret Sanger Eugenicist Award.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like people do, they like when I tell people, hey, you can kill a baby that's just got delivered if the mother decides that she would, if she gets talked out of it. And
the little brat was inconvenient.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, like, this is just holy smokes. And you can't get people to go watch the video. And when they do, they don't get, like, I've sent people to watch that. I mean, it's like a mission of mine, I think. Like, if I find something that's that outrageous, I'm going to like, hey, you got to see this. Like, you got to wake up. If this doesn't wake you up, probably nothing will. So, yeah, go look at this. And I've not heard back from one person. That's how we are programmed. We're just repelled, and we go, I want my job back. I want to go do some work. I got to go do some work. I'm too busy for this.
Yeah. Give me my bucket back. I don't want to see.
Everybody's response is, I'm too busy to look that up. I said, we're on lockdown. You got 24/7. Go have a look.
Yeah. I got a few out there myself, Yeah, you just have to look for Gord X on YouTube and type in The Pain or Army of Q or A Patriot's Fight, and you'd be able to find those. I have literally no one looking at it, I had a couple of them played on the channel here, about 6 months back,
Yeah, it's tough sledding, but that's okay, right? Like it's a body of work. You just keep pounding it out, and I'm getting traction. I feel like this is traction. I'm getting traction. We're getting traction.
Yeah, I was going to say, folks out there in live chat that are watching here, looks like Raw Q Boswin has 941 subscribers to his YouTube. Come on, let's help him out. Let's get him up to 1,000 here. And
that'd be awesome.
YouTube. He should definitely have more than he has right now in terms of the work that he produces out there.
Oh, you guys, thanks. It's okay though. Like I don't measure any success by retweets or views or anything, because I know that there are people that connect with it, and then they go do something. They go, it creates energy. So even if these idiots want to try and win by censorship, they're losing. And it's okay. It's a feather in our cap as content creators. They want to censor it. We're over the target. Screw them. Just keep pumping it out.
And compared to the opposition that we have out there in this digital war that we have right now, it's not even in comparison to what the body of work that these anons like yourself or whatever have put together over these last 2 years. And you can see the progression even that this movement has had in terms of when we first started this whole, meme war, whether it be just regular, printed meme or a video meme, compared to where we are now. It's just amazing, really.
I mean, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are any of these alternative platforms like Twitch and Periscope and the others, do any of them have categories for shorts, like your 2 Gilligan Island pieces, or areas like that where you can also get the links out to hitting something other than maybe trying to put it on YouTube who's just going to try to bury it?
As a content creator, I'm on Parlay or Parlor or whatever. I'm on Gab. I'm on BitChute. I'm on YouTube, Twitter. I will not go back on Facebook until, I don't know, I don't think I ever want to go back there, but whatever. So I'm on all these different platforms, and the only one that gets any sort of response at all is Twitter. So at this point, it's not worth our while to go anywhere else, I think. I wish I could.
No, I'm just talking about where the content is located, as opposed to how you're getting the word out.
Yeah. I've got it on right now. I guess the only places that are hosting it would be YouTube and BitChute are really the only two places that actually host the files. So,
well, you might want to get in touch with the 5x5 people and some of the other platforms and see if they're offering space. Many of them are just to build content.
Yeah. Well, I like my content. This content that I'm creating during the storm is the world's. You know, like it's can go wherever it needs to go. It's there for the use of this effort.
Well, what you're doing is so good, it doesn't need to be hidden. Is my point.
Yeah, I you know what? I do have a personal interest in trying to, like, I would love to make my living at music. I think that would be, I think I deserve that, but it's really difficult to create in this world, to create money from music. It's I mean, people just make videos and throw music on it, and there's no consideration of that at all. So yeah, what I think as an artist is like, okay, here's my opportunity to share my art. Before you had to sell it in order to share it. Now there's an opportunity like to give it away and have people see it and hear it and feel it.
Well, I grew up in the old record company dynamic, and that dynamic is long gone.
Well, I was never allowed in the record companies. Like, they would only, whatever. I'm not going to say that, but anyways, here's my opportunity is I can put the music out. It can be heard. It can be seen. It can be felt. And then when the storm's over, maybe I'll start up a Patreon account and people can help me make new stuff after that. Once they go, yeah, I like that guy. I want to get behind him. I want to hear more. This is maybe the way the new music business is going to shape up. But the old one is like, you gotta, I can't say the words, but you got to really be nice to somebody in order to get a record deal. And then they're going to screw you after you get it. That's how it was.
Well, the real money was always in live performance anyway.
For them, for the people that were your handlers, Should
I play "The Storm Is Upon Us" light roast?
Light roast, probably. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a nice one. I love that.
All right, let's do that. Go ahead and guest if you'll mute your
sure
your things. We'll be right back.
That was pretty powerful, man, for sure.
Yeah, great job.
Thanks, Doug.
Oh man, amazing!
Great.
Excellent work.
I'm being guided by God. I think He puts this stuff through me.
Well, in terms of your
Rob,
and what you've put together, I have talked about this to i70 is that we're, as you say, we're just in the storm right now. But President Trump is going to be voted in this November, and then we've got at least another 4 years of himself, and he's going to be needing our help throughout that whole time. So people like yourself need to just continue to doing what you're doing, be inspired, and create this type of work, man, because it definitely is needs to get out there.
Yeah, I'll drop that link to live chat. They'd really appreciate that. Hey, everybody, pound the thumbs up and subscribe when you're in there checking out these videos and passing them around. That's the only way you can get this out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure.
Well, I just really
Rob, we have an expression in the South that I think applies well to that video we just saw. The expression is, "You done good, boy."
Well, I appreciate that, you guys. It's it's always rewarding to hear that it's connecting with somebody. So because let me tell you a little story about this last video that we put out. Me and I were giggling our butts off before we released it, and then the censorship hit after we released it, and of course, because we chose comedy, we're like, oh shit, it's not funny. They hate us. And it gets on you. It gets in you. And it makes you feel like you're not doing good. So all the help we can get, we appreciate it. I mean, one little like, one little retweet. And here's another thing, guys. Retweet. Mm-hmm. Liking does not help.
Yeah.
Right? Retweet that thing. If you really want to help and you think it's a great message and people would be helped by seeing it, the best thing you can do is retweet that thing. I go in every day and retweet Trump all day long. Everything. I don't even read it first. I retweet it first. Because that's the power of Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you, if you wouldn't mind. When you first started this and you first found out about this movement and about Q and all the rest of what's going on, did you get a feeling inside you of something broke open and you've got a lane to go? You know what I'm saying? You're not just stuck on the same highway with everybody else. All of a sudden, a free lane came out, and all of a sudden, you're just seeing several different people, in the lineup just pulling into that new lane. That's a metaphor for how it feels, because that's how it struck me. That's what inspired me to do what I did, because I got this feeling in me that said, you have to do this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a perfect way to put it. I think that, I wonder this too, and I wonder if you guys might wonder the same thing, and I want to put it out there. It's nice to have a format there to put a question out like this, but we're like, show of hands here. How many people saw the first Q drop? Like, I'll put my hand up because I did. Mm-hmm. I'm not bragging or anything, but I wonder why. Because I wasn't on the chance. I wasn't, I don't know why I saw that. I wonder if they targeted us.
I see. Oh, you knew the very first Q drop when it dropped out.
Yeah, I wonder why I saw that. I had nothing to do with that culture, really, but I was sort of getting pulled into it by these drops by FBI Anon and whatever. And then all of a sudden, that Q drop, I was on it. And then I read all these comments online, and everybody's like, I saw that drop. And I'm thinking, how did we all see that? I think they targeted us because they knew we were the ones that would react to it. The NSA was watching all of us before this all started. They knew which ones of us were already awakened and starting to work on this. So I just wonder, how come I saw that, and why did other people see it?
Yeah, I was kind of never on the chance, and then found myself there also. Same weird circumstances.
Yeah. So I think. Sorry.
I was going to say my best friend saw it. He was on my computer at my house, and he said, "Hey, come here and read this." So I was pointed at it. I wasn't looking for it because I wasn't on the chance, but he was.
Yeah. I'm just saying, so many people that weren't, who was on the chance at the time, and then all of a sudden, this whole group of people saw that transmission, and several before it. There's also a guy named Steve Peisnig, I think that's how you pronounce it, was doing stuff at that time as well. That got me going. He liked one of our videos the other day, and I was bouncing off the ceiling because I was like, "That is the father of the movement," like one of the fathers. Because he was the guy coming on telling us there's a coup, and then there's a counter coup, and a coup against the coup, and a coup.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty cuckoo.
Yeah.
I think that what is happening is it is America taking back its country from the people that stole it, who killed Kennedy. It's that far back.
Oh, it's further than that.
The people that now are finally, who started laying plans even back then to try and get these people out of power.
Well, Gord, their attitude is exactly the opposite of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their attitude is if it works, break it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up here in Canada, they've just been lying to us for, over 100 so odd years, if not longer, in terms of even our fake constitution and our connections with the monarchy, and all of that shenanigans has all been faked to Canadians and lied to us, and we have all just gone along with this BS over this amount of time. So I really hope that this is part of the change.
We didn't go along though, like we were tricked. It's not the same. Going along with something is not the same as being tricked.
No, that's
true. We were tricked.
Right. And I got to stick up for us as Canadians, because I know we're good people. I know we are, right? So we're not these idiots. And also when people think, how did they vote that guy in? Well, my goodness, sorry. We knew he was involved in SNC Lavalin up to his yin yang. The Ethics Commission had already found him guilty for the Billionaires Island thing. We all know what goes on Billionaire Islands.
Yeah.
Michelle Rempel, who is what used to be my MP, now has been moved over a district. She stood up in the House of Commons and said, "You need to explain why our government paid $35,000 for a prostitute for Gaddafi's son."
Right.
And I'm like, hey, that sounds an awful lot like human trafficking to me. Hey, Donald Trump, come in here, get whoever paid for that. That's human trafficking. Where's my RCMP? I phoned the RCMP. They said, "Hey, Rob, what crime do you want to report?" I said, "I don't know, SNC Lavalin." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Oh, I know. Michelle Rempel said that this happened on the floor." She said that on the House of Commons. He says, "Yeah, she may have said that, but tell you what, when he comes to Calgary, why don't you go protest?" And I'm like, you know what? I'm really past my protesting phase of my life where I want to go get arrested so that this full-blown criminal can get investigated.
Right. By
the police who I pay, as a citizen. And I'm phoning you right now saying, can you please investigate this clown? Because no one will. Mm-hmm. And so this is what happens, guys, when your government and everything is so corrupted as it is in Canada, which you got saved from for some reason, the White Hats and Trump and everybody saved the United States from our fate. And I hope you guys can help us out of this. And I think you have, because in my opinion, our little Trudeau is on lockdown right now. They're not sick. And when they said watch the wives, isn't it funny that she's sick?
And here's a question for you too. Well, a couple things. One question on Mr. Trudeau is: has anyone seen his socks lately?
No.
He's not showing off his socks lately. Is that perhaps because there's something around his ankle? He's on house isolation. But on terms of what you brought up about Gaddafi, and you're totally on point there in terms of the money that they gave. How about that 20 mil that Trudeau gave to build that yacht of Gaddafi's son? What a way to traffic those people that you're talking about on a mega yacht.
Right. Yep. I mean, it's all there for us, but we can't tell our fellow citizens about it because they need to hear it, because they really are. You guys up here, we have a state broadcast system. It's like Pravda, and it's worse. And so you can't even get them to go and find facts. It's the odd person seems a little awake, and they're like, yeah, okay, maybe you got me, but you never hear back from them. Like, feed me more, I want more. Like, they just get back into it. So the point is, you can't let it get this bad. And I don't think it will. I think you will save us. I think that this movement in overall will save everybody.
They almost misled us real bad, Rob, because when Bathhouse Berry got elected, the globalists wanted us to pledge allegiance to that queen too. Yeah. But, fortunately, people here woke up.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I didn't say this yet, but my wife came to me, and I was one of those guys who's like, I don't know why they're running Trump. Like, I know Hillary's a complete crook, and there's no way she should ever win. I knew all about Hillary, and kind of all I knew about Donald Trump was that, his character on the sorry, what's that? You're fired.
Apprentice.
On The Apprentice. It didn't appeal to me. So I kind of had this taste in my mouth of the Apprentice Donald Trump. And then my wife came to me during the campaign, right near the end, where he gave that speech that we all watched that Q puts out. And she made me watch that speech, which is pretty odd too. And she says, Donald Trump has an awesome family. I just watched the children speaking, and they're so great. There's no way he could be an asshole and raise those type of people. You got to watch this. So I sat down and watched him, and I was like, holy smokes, this guy's amazing. Like, he's nothing like I had pictured that I thought, and so that day I switched gears completely and got on board with it and saw a brand new Trump. And I don't know why, somehow people are so mesmerized by the mainstream. They can't cut through and see what he's doing and see how pure it is and how wholesome and real, right? It's so strange to me. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, MK Ultra.
Yeah, it's got to be.
When I first heard about it, I remember talking to somebody in a bar. It was a closing down of this bar that I used to go and jam at with a guy in who's now living in Winnipeg, Dave Gord Zubrecki. And I was talking with this one girl, and she was all freaked out that Trump was going to run, right? And I thought to myself, okay, Hillary Clinton's running. And the Clintons, I remember seeing pictures of Trump back in the early 80s and stuff like that, giving the high five to them and sort of getting promotional pictures taken with them. And I thought to myself, maybe this is their plan. They wanted to get somebody so unappealing to the rest of the world that it would be a total shoo-in for her, right? But they didn't really count on the people realizing what he was going to do for the country, like to literally break those bonds. They didn't. They didn't understand, and we know now that Trump was drafted to do this, and he volunteered to do this. He didn't have to do this. He's got loads of cash, and he could have just went and lived his life and not cared, right? Yep. But he stepped up to the plate and did that. We need somebody in Canada to be just like that. to stand up to these people and to kick them all out. This country has never had a revolution ever since its inception in 1867. The closest we came was the Battle of Seven Oaks. And that was because the Métis wanted to have their own nation. And we got put in, right? And they turned Louis Riel into a criminal from a guy who was trying to actually start his own country, separate and apart from what the crown was doing. We always act in this country like a loyal sheepdog to Britain, and it's because we were part of the Commonwealth. And at that time,
the thing, we weren't. It was all, as Ross said, we were tricked. We were never actually part of the
exactly. Exactly, but they allowed us to think like that. They allowed us to think like that.
Yeah. I talk to geologists even, and they say, what's this crown land? Like, think about when I talk about the Queen, I say, what's crown land? They say, oh, we don't have crown land anymore, because they've been told that we don't have crown land anymore. And these are people that should know. In my opinion, they should know these facts because they're geologists. They should know about the land they're drilling in and all that, and who owns the rights, who actually. Anyways, I've felt ignorant for quite a while. That when I try and talk to, and we're in Alberta, so there's geologists everywhere, right? Geologists rock, by the way. Anyways, so when you talk to them and you talk about crown land, they're like, there's no such thing anymore. That's all been cleared up. But the more I'm reading, it's absolutely not true. That everything here is the crown. Everything in Canada still remains the crown. Mm-hmm. So this is the best news we've ever had. Prince Andrew had to step down. Charles is next. Harry's running away. Mm-hmm. The Queen's stepping down. The Pope's going down. This is the best news Canada has ever had. And 90% of Canada is oblivious to it. Like, this is censorship. It's terrible.
Hey, Raw, we're going to hold on real quick. We're going to move into phase 2 of our show here. You're welcome to stay along and hang out at the round table. And what we do is we're going to go over some Q posts, past and present, and a couple other Twitter type of objects.
Will there be time for the 8 ball of Q tonight?
Possibly, but we don't know.
Let's hope. There's only one. I was going to say there's only one round table rule. Don't sit on the cat.
Meow. What was that? I thought I taught Putty Cat.
Yeah, but if you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome to.
Well, maybe I'll slip out and have a smoke and then come back and see what you guys are up to.
Yep. Yeah, just mute it. Just mute it and then jump back in.
It's only pot. It's not
That's all right.
Story. Yeah.
All right. At least you got some sense. Anyway.
Sense of media.
Now.
All right. Yeah. So I'm jumping over here and grab that share screen. Let's update ourselves to these. I guess it's been 3 Q posts that have come out today.
Ooh, let's go over them.
Great to have new Q posts. All right. Following up from the one 2 days ago on the 21st, where he said, "Do not fear Q." 3896 came in this afternoon, early evening, linking to this article, which I've seen going around: severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus as an emerging and re-emerging infection. Here at the top, circled October 2007. How about that, eh? How about that? And here in yellow, they put up there for us to see the presence of a large reservoir of SARS-CoV-like viruses is horseshoe bats, together with the culture of eating exotic mammals in southern China, is a time bomb. Now, Q below it says, in quote, "the China virus, worth remembering." Link to a YouTube video there. We'll check out Wuhan Institute of Virology geolocation. First biosafety level 4 lab in 2015, in brackets. City/province origin -hot zone, in brackets, geolocation. Then a link to the Harvard University professor and 2 Chinese nationals charged 3 separate China-related, in quote, Unbeknownst to Harvard University, beginning in 2011, Lieber became a, quote, strategic scientist, end quote, at Wuhan University of Technology in China, and was a contractual participant in China's 1,000 Talents plan from in or about 2012 to 2017, end quote. In brackets, rapid spread. Linked to the Epoch Times, the closing of 21 million cell phone accounts in China may suggest a high CCP virus death toll. Below it, end POTUS rallies, end POTUS economy gains, end POTUS unemployment gains, end POTUS's ABCD ... in brackets, weakened prior to a presidential election. Delay.
Are the missing letters significant?
Perhaps.
E, F, G, and H are missing.
Yes, true.
Yeah, we know. He's just saying that it's, first of all, let him go through the whole thing and then we'll come back. But he's just saying that there's more to it. Go ahead. Try to finish it first, though, Clay, and then comment. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Delay U.S.-China trade negotiations. In brackets, China preference Biden plus a VP, in brackets, as president. Shelter Biden public appearances. Shelter Biden debates. Push new/revised presidential 2020 vote by mail, in brackets, unsecure. Link to Tom Fitton's status on Twitter. Push Democratic wish list. Unrelated items in the coronavirus bill, in brackets, voting amends. And a link to Senator Tom Cotton. What is the mathematical probability this occurs? The time bomb explodes, in brackets, at the exact point in time that allows for maximum damage above prior to the presidential election. Outside the standard deviation, who benefits the most? Mueller failed. Impeachment failed. Why was it critically important impeachment must be rushed in the House? MSM Democratic Party / Hollywood narratives failed. The coup failed. Democratic Party leading nominee established Super Tuesday prior to lockdown. Takeover, brackets. Sanders eliminated Biden front. Occam's razor simply states that of any given set of explanations for an event occurring, the simplest one is most likely the correct one. Q. Wow. Well, and that's the first really Q post we've seen in terms of talking about the coronavirus, which obviously explains a lot in this. What do you guys think?
He covers so very much in this post again. And that's nice because we haven't heard much from Q, of course, in the last several days.
You know, doesn't this seem almost like this, as he says here, the time bomb was kind of, in a way, step 5? I mean, this is what they've now been using to change the narrative on us over the last 2 weeks or more now.
They're still replaying the same stinking old narrative. It's like a broke record.
They're trying to start a war between China and the United States, because if they push the narrative that this was a bioweapon released on the American public by the Chinese Communist Party, people are going to want to take action against that, and that's what the deep state is hoping for.
Only problem is, if that were the case, then it could be the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the Chinese people are concerned.
That is
because
correct.
The Chinese people have been paying attention to what's been going on in Taiwan. And keep in mind, there's still, until now, has been travel back and forth between Taiwan and the mainland. So it's not like these people don't get together and talk.
Here's an example of Canadian and the connection between China and our propagandist media, CBC. On their one website, they list of all the corona contagious people that are infected with it all over the world. They list Taiwan, and then in brackets being a province of China.
Yeah.
There you go. Not even telling it like it really is. So interesting here too. This link to Epoch Times: closing of 21 million cell phone accounts in China may suggest a high CCP virus death toll. Now, you guys think that's coronavirus death toll, or is that?
Well, I don't want to admit this because I might end up getting like blackballed on Twitter, but my wife is Chinese. Sorry.
Okay.
I love her to death. No, but so I hear the news from China, which we always kind of joke about that. How could it be true? Because it's like Canadian news. It's goes through the government filter, right? So you really can't.
Yeah.
But you can talk to her family and you can find out. And let me say this, people. Chinese people, I've traveled there. They're so beautiful. They are so nice and kind and whatever. But they're mind controlled. They live in a communist state.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there another country out there that the people of it has been more oppressed over the years than the Chinese people?
Can I say something? Sorry about the Q thing, but while I have an audience,
yes,
there's no health care. There's zero health care in China. Okay, all you people that want free health care from your socialist. I was going to swear. Sorry, I'm so used to swearing. I'm glad that I'm on TV, so I can't swear. But no, like in China, when you go to the hospital, I know this from personal experience. We put my mother-in-law to rest in a long story, but we ended up, she went back to China for her palliative care, and you need family members to nurse them because there's no nurses at the hospital, right? Like, that's socialist Medicare. This is free Medicare. And we also live in Canada. You guys got to know, you got a hernia, if you got 8 to 12 months to wait for your free operation, great, or even whatever. So it's like being a veteran before Trump got elected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely bad. It is bad here.
Like this free health care.
Well, look at what happened, guys, when Tiananmen Square went down. We are only now getting the real numbers on how many people, quite literally, they murdered as a result of the demonstrations at Tiananmen Square. Yeah, look how long it's taken before we got the real numbers about that. So when they're talking about how many cell phone accounts were basically shut down, we don't know whether that was a censorship move to quiet people who were dissident, whether it was people who died, or exactly what it was. We don't know. It could have been any one of several things.
All right, moving on to the next Q post here. Hey, real quick about the Chinese thing. Do you think that there is, what was your take on that, Raw?
On which part of it?
I thought you kind of had a little insight you were getting ready.
Yeah, I was gonna, what was I gonna say about the 21 million? I was just gonna bring up that 21 million thing, and I talked to Lily, and she said that the same story exists in China media, the exact same story. So that's what I wanted to drop there, was that they're reading that 21 million cell phone users are gone.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to take much information coming out of China as being truthful, not knowing exactly if we are getting the total truth out there.
Was there something in the last couple of weeks where they were showing an infrared or camera version of when they flew over China, and that there was like a lot of fires in and around Wuhan and stuff? And I was thinking that there might very well have been, like these were like funeral pyres.
Well, I don't know. I guess we're not hearing, like Lily's not hearing that. Like her family seems relatively, of course, I could live in Calgary and they could be killing people in Toronto. I would not know if the media didn't tell me. So This is no indication that they know what's going on. But no, we're not hearing anything, any sort of.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, so we're not hearing that. So, but that doesn't mean anything, I guess, because then that's what we're warning about here: is to don't help Canada and don't let it happen in the States, because then we'll all be in the same situations we're looking at with China, where we don't know, we just have no clue.
All right, Coach, you want to go ahead and take the next one there?
3897, link to Twitter account from Representative Andy Harris. Let's go there quickly, see what they were saying. Said no voter ID to get a ballot and anonymous, in quote, ballot harvesting, end quote. Why is that hidden in Speaker Pelosi's coronavirus bill? These are issues that shouldn't be addressed at this time. Yeah, well, we kind of should have expected kind of this stuff put in there, but these are the things that I think in terms of the voter and how it's done up here in Canada should be changed as well. I mean, most of the places here in Canada, people out in live chat would agree that the ballot came out with a pencil to fill in. Now, I'm just supposed to trust that I put a pencil mark on here and pass it on. It's going to go through 3 or 4 other different hands probably, and no one's going to change that pencil mark. I don't know, man. It's hard to trust these people about anything.
And the biggest dick in the whole country gets elected.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, if like we all knew what was happening, we all knew about everything he was doing, and he got elected. What? No.
Right after he admits that he wore blackface so many times that he can't even remember how many.
How about SNC Lavalin with all the facts? How about the ethics thing? How about the fact that he made us broke? How about all the things?
$300 million to the Clinton Foundation? Come on.
No, I think it was 20 million.
No, over time there's been more.
All I could confirm from my video was 20. So I put in. I heard the bigger number, but I didn't put it in because
it might be in some other different ways through the infrastructure bank or whatever type of thing like that. But
yeah,
I mean, him donating to Haiti basically is donating right directly to the Clinton Foundation as well. So
yeah.
When I heard his proposed plan to give, what was it, $22 billion to the Canadian people and $45 billion to businesses, I kept thinking to myself, which businesses and which Canadian people?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I asked the question of you guys initially that I did. Is he going to keep screwing the Canadian people over and give everything to somebody else and to the immigrants? Because you guys have been burned.
Oh, yes.
Yes. You are preaching to the choir. Would you guys like to hit an A minor together or something?
I was going to play it in A minor, but, E minor will work too.
Yeah.
To me, I have high hopes with the USMCA agreement and what it states in there in terms of that the United States won't trade with any non-government in terms of it. And you cannot be a corporation to make trade with the United States government, as well as that whole chapter on corruption or anti-corruption, and the removal of it. It basically states, even anybody who's working near government or might communicate with somebody in a politician or government has to be clear of any corruption, etc. So I've got high hopes for that.
Yes, properly vetted. I agree.
I mean, just weirdly enough that the president spoke to Trudeau on that last Friday. Then just after that phone call, they go and ratify that agreement right after it's been sitting on the books for 2 months or at least. And then since then, we have basically seen Trudeau mimic everything that President Trump has enacted here in terms of even shutting down Rockham Road and that in Quebec. But, on that note here, actually, for 1 sec, I'll throw this at you guys and everybody out there in live chat. Share my screen again here. Check this out. Here is Flight Radar 24, which is a program many people have used. I use it to check out things. And here is a current map of flights over top of United States, Canada, etc. And to me, I'm someone who watches this program on a normal basis. There is no decrease of flights out there right now, if you ask me. Does that look like a normal amount or a smaller amount of flights out there?
Truthfully, that is normally just one big blur.
Well, it does get more in there.
It is reduced a bit.
Still, we're supposed to be shut down here, folks. The world's supposed to be shut. Look at these flights going across.
Yeah, but there's 151,000 indictment, or 58,000. Maybe they each got their own private flight to Gitmo.
Yeah. Well, these are international flights. Here, even we zoom in here a bit. Check out something that's over top the.
Yellow is international?
Nope, they're all. Gotta. Just gonna try to find something up here in Canada. Let's see here.
Does that include military and civilian?
No, this is just civilian.
Or is that the one that's civilian only?
Civilian only.
San Francisco to London. Let's see, more San Francisco to London. Let's see here. Anchorage to Memphis. You just scroll here through Calgary to Ottawa. That's a flight lit. Anyway, my point being on here is that, I mean, it's not what people think it is out there, really, when you look at something like that.
Yeah.
Still a tremendous amount of movement of people across the world.
It certainly doesn't look like that map did on 9/11.
Madrid to Mexico City. Anyways, lots of
awful big opening right in the middle of the states there. What's that right there?
Right here?
They got a no-fly zone? No. Go in closer.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Right there where my finger is.
Right there. Right over Ohio.
Yeah, they must have a blackout going on over here.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. There it is.
There's more
All
stuff.
All right. I thought I was getting abducted.
It's acronym OH.
Looks like it even has helicopters on here. This is a meta flight.
Gotcha.
Have you been eating cabbage again, I-70?
Nope, I'm good. Let's jump back over to,
we are.
I think, 3897.
Yeah, we just said, read at the bottom of it here. Prevent Democratic Party destruction by any means necessary. These people are sick. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. Q. Good. Bring it. We're ready.
Yeah, are we ever?
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yep. And Q Post 3898, the most recent one, link at the top Daily Caller article. Feral Spygate could make Watergate look like a third-rate burglary. The key that opens all doors. The start. Q. Now, this is a really interesting one to me. We've seen that the start before, and it was a post about JF Jr. and Trump's relationship to them, the whole Senate race for 2000, Hillary. What's your guys' take on this one? Any thoughts?
Is there any relationship between the key and the keystone? Remember, find the keystone?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the same.
I think it's pretty interesting. I read the article when it came out, and I think this is they're saying start. That's like the last word is start. So I think they're starting, tangibly starting for us Anons.
Right.
And we're seeing it with the celebrities, like they're freaking out.
Well, I think it's because Judicial Watch has been doing such a good job of digging up all those lost Hillary Clinton emails. Like the Judicial Watch was just talking about that the other day, and they found like another 80. And there's all sorts of conversations about Benghazi in Libya, and that it was an attack,
How many days does she have left before she has to testify?
Well, she's appealing right now, that whole thing to actually.
The last two appeals were shot down.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But that doesn't stop the count.
It's a big can of worms there, Gord, with those emails and her having to talk about them again. In my opinion, because I think there was a lot of those emails that were sent directly to Barack Obama's BlackBerry device as well. We shall find out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have it all.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the drops when Q said that he was going to, or she was going to do a tandem investigations? Do you remember those drops where they said, I think they were Q drops, or maybe it was a Twitter, but it said that, you need to have an investigator investigating the same things to make sure that your primary investigator is investigating, or, not just covering things up. You need to have tandem investigations happening. And we thought it was Huber and Horowitz, or, something combination like that. But I've always thought Tom Fitton.
Are you talking about confirmation redundancy?
I'm talking, I forget which drop. I think they were Q drops. Forgive me if I'm wrong. We've all been reading and doing, putting this all together. But it was something to do with the fact that, and I think it was Q, the more I think of it, that, wouldn't we, if there was an investigation, wouldn't we do another investigation to make sure that first investigator wasn't blah, 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 something like this. And then and I thought we were led to believe that, that's why they installed Huber, because that was the redundant investigation. But then I thought, what if there's 3 investigations going on? The Horowitz, Huber, and then right out in front of everybody, actually leading the investigation, is Judicial Watch. Right in front of everybody, leading the charge, doing the freedom.
It sounds a little bit like how they used to test drugs. They would have 3 different independent testing, call them agencies, that would each do a blind test on the effectiveness of a given, we'll call it drug or drug that's being tested, so that they could then repair independently obtained results. So you're talking about doing investigations using that same protocol.
Well, it's not my idea. I got it from somebody's dig or Q's drop, or it's not my idea, but that's what I'm assuming is going on. And then when I see the role of Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch, to me, it's not a fluke that Tom's ahead of everybody. And where's he getting all the money and the energy to do all this? I don't know that there's a huge calling on Twitter to support Judicial Watch. Maybe I'm saying too much too, but
no, I have wondered about that myself. He seems to have some very good sources.
I don't want to blow the op, but I do think that, my hero, one of my great heroes in this movement is Tom Fitton and those people. So,
amen. You got it.
So, God bless them and their ability to do what they do, and their knowledge of how to do it, and their tenacity and all that stuff. And we need to support that, but we're not asked to somehow. So I find that mysterious.
Hey, Tom Fitton for president 2032 after Trump's last term.
Yeah, I'd go for that. I mean, I'd have to move, and actually I don't. I can just go down and vote and then come back home. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
That's awesome.
Hey, we're loading up a bus to come up and vote in the Canadian election. So,
well, at least
we'll pick you up.
Yeah, I don't actually. There's nobody to vote for, so don't bother. Don't waste the gas. Or actually, we need to sell it.
Check out this video here today from some of these yahoos. What's your guys' take on this?
You can turn it on by using your fingerprint?
Yes.
Well, I've washed away my fingerprints.
Hey, you got screen share on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah?
Yeah, take it off.
I'm trying to show a video.
You got the wrong one. You got my Discord.
Oh, shit. Right.
Oh, that's wrong. Don't do that.
I got it out my eyes. Yuck. What was that?
This one, I don't get it. These Not talking about
you can turn it on by using your fingerprint?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I've washed away my fingerprints.
What?
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, that's a good tip for criminals out there. You know?
I know. Get me some of that Oprah soup.
Wow. Yeah.
Hear that again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, that's a good tip for criminals out there. You know?
I know. Get me some of that Oprah soup.
Yeah.
Oprah soup.
What the?
Yeah. Is this kind of like that no more pasta fried fish?
Yeah.
What is your guys' take on that?
Is that Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
It is.
My take on that is thank God I didn't make it into the business. They're freaks, man. They had to give it up. They had to give it all up to be what they are.
The amount of videos that these people are pushing out right now, it just doesn't make sense to me unless they're trying to do actual comms with them.
They're doing commercials, and the commercials are actually saying, "This is your mind. This is your mind on adrenochrome."
Well, Terabyte actually out there in live chat says that Oprah now sells soup. Okay. Well, that would make sense.
But I doubt that was her intention. Like I know
that's what I mean.
Saying really weird.
What are they doing?
Cryptic.
What are they? Are they bottling her bathwater or something? Oprah soup? Are they just dragging her through the bathwater about 3-4 times and then bottling it up?
Don't get it. Yeah. Here's another one. It seems now that Ellen is putting one out every day.
All right. Very excited. Everybody keeps asking what happened with the puzzle. I told you, the table wasn't big enough. We can't do it on the floor. Everybody said, put it on the floor. But we have animals. They're going to eat them and choke on them. And no, can't do a puzzle on the floor here. So look what I'm doing. Lego architecture. And this is the Guggenheim Museum. So the next time you see this, well, I'll give it to you in stages. Anyway, this is the Guggenheim Museum, Lego architecture. I'm very excited about this. You know me, Ellen, do it DeGeneres. Do it.
Say your name right.
Do it. All right.
I don't know these.
She needs to get a 4-year-old to help her with that.
I don't think he was ever.
I keep thinking Wayne Gretzky must watch that and go, why does she look so much like me? What the hell?
Your backhand isn't even half as good as his. He's got a way better backhand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Another Canadian here, Anon, that we've had on for an interview here, True Canuck, put together a pretty good thread on all these videos.
Yeah, that one where she does the little hanged man is pretty creepy. I think I wonder what that means.
She's pretty creepy.
Yeah, the whole thing is
degenerate.
Like they shut off the adrenochrome supply how long ago, and then they all had to take adrenochrome from Wuhan, which was tainted, and now they're all like marked.
What it seems like, the more and more you take that 40,000-foot view on it.
It's sort of like, I hope that's true, because that would make an amazing movie at the end of this thing. Like it's such an amazing plan. It's so, it has I don't know, like it seems like Q when they say rigged for red. Somebody said the other day, I don't know if you guys heard this, but not the other day, today I read somebody's comment, not mine. So I hate to take credit for other people's great thinking. They said rigged for red doesn't, and this may be not true. Doesn't the test indicate red when you're got corona? I don't know if that's true, but I thought that wouldn't that be funny if that's true, that they had a red indicator?
Oh yeah,
and they're rigged for red.
Russian either bot. That or you're pregnant.
Yeah, so that wasn't mine. I wish I could remember who posted it in case it's true. But yeah.
Russia Bot is reporting he has breaking news. Military convoy just rolled up to the governor of Kentucky mansion and arrested the governor My tip was from a cop who witnessed it in Kentucky.
Wow.
Really?
Whoa.
Oh.
Nice.
That would be. Who's the government? Who are they? What color are they in? Like
they're a Dem.
Dem?
I believe
they're Dem and they're women.
And a woman
Blue
Dem?
state.
Wow.
Actually, it's more like a purple state.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Out there, who took my mojo says, why did these people take adrenochrome in the first place? I think this is something that they've been doing for hundreds of years. If not, it goes back, way back, a long time. These Satanists has been doing this type of behavior. And then glorifying it like they did in movies such as Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, etc.
Can I offer something on that?
Of course.
I have and I don't know, guys. This whole thing is kind of got me going from being kind of an atheist to being a God-loving, fearing person. Now, I heard about adrenochrome. I mean, all these things drive you in a direction, right? So, and then I'm reading for the first time. I'm going through the Bible, reading it, and I'm like, I haven't got to this part yet, but this is a thought I had before. So, say at one point before all this, we all sacrificed. We're all part of this thing. And then there was like an enlightenment or something. Christ came along and said, like, you can't do that. So we now drink red wine that represents the blood of Christ. It also makes you drunk. I wonder if those things aren't like when that happened, we replaced the blood with the red wine and the body of Christ with bread. So I wanted to put that out there because it just makes me kind of go, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope we find the truth out really about this whole adrenochrome and where it came from and who's doing it, who's selling it. I've seen evidence that there's an adrenochrome lab here in Canada producing this stuff, or in the past.
Well, there's that urban myth that if you take an EpiPen and leave it out in the light at room temperature, that the antihistamine in the EpiPen will turn into a synthetic adrenochrome. I don't know if it's true, but that at least I'm going to call it an urban myth for now.
An old wives' tale, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We got any more cues to do?
We updated for ourselves for what we've got put out so far today, and it looks like we've got about 9 minutes left in the show there. So I definitely want to have time again to plug Raw Q Boswin's work again. Put it out here in live chat for people who may have just come in within the last hour here. And
can you do me a favor and play that breakthrough? Because I went back and looked at it. That was my first video. It's coming up on the very first words I put into that video, which my very first words I put out to the world about this. Okay, so and I just went back and looked at it the other day, and I was like, "Holy smokes!"
Which one is it?
It's called The Breakthrough. It's from it's like back maybe on the next page or whatever. Let's see. How many have you got? Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, I just pulled up your whole video list.
Okay.
All right.
I guess I put out a few now. They're getting hard to find. March 18th, 2018. Just the date on it, I think. Because I was like, I wonder when I knew this, when I had seen enough Q to know this. And it's amazing how much we knew.
What was the name again?
The Breakthrough. Should I share it? Can I do that?
Yes.
Let's see, share screen. Let's see if I can get it up here. Sorry. Oh, that's not a bad.
You have to double check at the bottom.
There's two little check boxes for your sound and your full screen that you want to click before you hit the final.
Yeah, let me get I forgot to get the full screen that I want first, but let me go here and I'll get it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Here. Go. Okay, I got it. Now I go back to here. I go share.
That's right.
And then two arrows at the bottom.
Boxes. Click those in there.
Okay.
And then go click the actual perfect.
Oh, did I get it? Wait,
you got it. We can see it now. We go full screen.
Full screen it.
Okay. On here.
Yep. And then
turn play.
Yep.
4, 10, 20.
Ooh, money bags.
I think your screen froze on you.
Yeah. Hey, if you drop it, I got it right here.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead and drop it. We froze.
Yeah, you have to drop your screen share there. It looks like your internet connection might not be as.
Yeah, go ahead and drop your screen share real quick.
Just right at the top.
I can't find it. Sorry, guys. Oh.
That's all right. Up at the top, there you got it. I'm gonna see. You got 5 minutes. I'm gonna do it.
Let's play that one again. Yeah. Very cool. Another great video put together, man. Wow. That was one of your original ones.
Excellent. Really good.
You'll have to take your mute off in the corner there.
Yeah,
great job.
That was the first one that gave me goosebumps when I watch it, because I can't believe how much we knew by March 18th. Like I had to put that video together, finish the music, blah blah blah, and put that out with the cue drops. And look what's in there. Look at it. It just freaks me out.
Well, it was that's a great put together. Hey, it was an honor to have you on tonight. We're kind of coming up to the end of our show tonight, Raw Boswin, but we'd love to have you back on again. And I think you are making an appearance on the morning show as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got to get up on, I guess it'll be Tuesday night or Wednesday morning at 2 till 5 my time to do the Rise and Shine. I'd be happy to do it. I shouldn't say it that way. I got to get up, but no, I have the honor of joining them too. So thanks, you guys. I love what the Patriot Soapbox does. It's amazing, you know, the way people are coming together and pulling this off.
Sure. Well, we'd love to have you on again sometime. So